person is dead. This is after a small plane crash at the Spirit of St. Louis Airport.
What if I told you that a quiet, overnight cargo flight in Missouri?
Mike and Laura, we do have an update for you. So we are finding out that this crash actually happened shortly after midnight, around 12:22 a.m. is when this
ended in a shocking turn of events, right on the airport grounds. A single pilot took off in the dead of night, then mysteriously turned back mid-flight. Emergency crews rushed to the scene to find the aircraft on fire, sparking a full federal investigation. Today, we'll break down the timeline of that night, explore who was on board, see how first responders reacted, and explain what the federal investigation could reveal. By the end of this video, you'll understand not only what happened, how aviation safety responds when every second counts. The incident unfolded at the Spirit of St. Louis Airport in Chesterfield, Missouri, a quiet general aviation hub. Around midnight, an Aero Commander 500B, a small twin-engine cargo plane, took off on what should have been a routine overnight flight. On board was a single pilot, Edward Robeck, a 65-year-old St. Louis resident. Unfortunately, the flight ended in tragedy when the aircraft came down on airport grounds. Federal authorities, including the Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board, have taken over the investigation to determine exactly what went wrong. In this video, we'll explore every aspect of this incident, from the flight itself to the ongoing federal review. The flight departed from Spirit of St. Louis Airport in the late night hours between midnight and 3 a.m., heading toward New Century Air Center, a general aviation airport. Flight tracking data from FlightAware shows that something unusual happened mid-roti. The pilot abruptly turned the aircraft around. The reason for this turn remains unknown. As the plane returned toward the airport, it did not make it safely to the runway. Instead, it came down on the east side of the south runway, short of the intended landing zone. First responders were alerted around 3 a.m. and arrived promptly at the scene. They found the aircraft on fire, a dramatic and urgent situation that required coordination from multiple agencies. From the initial departure to the crash, the timeline raises many questions. Why did the pilot turn back? Was it a mechanical issue, weather-related, or something else entirely? These are questions investigators are now working to answer. Step by step, the events of that night paint a picture of a routine flight that ended unexpectedly, leaving behind an ongoing mystery. The pilot, Edward Robeck, was 65 years old and a resident of St. Louis. He was the sole individual on board the flight. Authorities confirmed that no other persons were involved in this operation, which was a solo cargo mission. The aircraft itself was an Aero Commander 500B, a vintage twin-engine propeller plane commonly used for light cargo work. This type of aircraft, while smaller than commercial jets, is known for its reliability and flexibility for short-range cargo flights. The plane was registered to Central Airlines Incorporated, a company based in Kansas City, with a registered address in Leawood, Kansas. A dispatcher from Central Air Southwest confirmed that the flight was part of a regular small cargo operation and deferred further details to federal investigators. For viewers, understanding both the pilot's experience and the type of aircraft provides important context for why this flight was considered routine and why its sudden end has raised questions for authorities and the local community alike. The response to the crash was swift and involved multiple agencies. Chesterfield Police, St. Louis County Police, and firefighting units all converged on the east end of the airport's south runway. The Metro Air Support Unit's Spirit of St. Louis Airport detail remained on site throughout the morning, coordinating and assisting in securing the scene. Airport officers conducted an initial search of the airfield, eventually locating the aircraft. The pilot was pronounced unresponsive at the scene, and no other individuals were present. The scale of the emergency response highlights how crucial interagency coordination is in aviation incidents. Every team had a clear role, from securing the area to ensuring that investigators could safely access the site. The professional response demonstrates the extensive planning and training that go into aviation safety, even for incidents occurring in the middle of the night. Federal authorities are now leading the investigation. The FAA, which oversees aviation safety and regulations, was among the first agencies notified and is assisting in the process. The NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, is the lead agency investigating the incident. As is standard protocol for aviation events in the United States, the central question remains, why did the pilot turn back mid-flight? Investigators will review flight data, weather conditions, and mechanical records to determine potential factors. The NTSB's investigation process is thorough and methodical on site examinations, detailed analysis of flight instruments, interviews with witnesses, and finally, a comprehensive public report. Investigations of this nature can take months, sometimes over a year, but interim findings may be released earlier to provide initial insights. For viewers, understanding this process sheds light on how aviation safety is continuously improved. Every incident, while unfortunate, contributes to the broader effort to prevent future accidents and ensure that airports, pilots, and aircraft operate as safely as possible. To recap, a small cargo plane departed Spirit of St. Louis Airport overnight, attempted to return mid-flight, and came down on the east side of the airfield. The pilot, Edward Robeck, 65, was the only person on board and did not survive. Federal investigators from the FAA and NTSB are actively working to determine the cause of this tragic event. Incidents like this highlight the ongoing importance of aviation safety and the rigorous processes designed to protect pilots, passengers, and communities. If you want to stay updated on this story as the investigation unfolds, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We'll bring you the latest developments as they emerge.